Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. And before the virus, I talked to a lot of people in the Medina County and Wadsworth area, and now we're going to go ahead and shift gears a little bit and go ahead and read some books to our younger students in the city and beyond. And today, this is a book that I had read previously in the Oasis tutoring classes, and it is What Pet Should I Get? From Dr. Seuss. And this is a very different book because it was written between 1958 and 1962, and it was a manuscript that they found in Dr. Seuss's desk after he had passed. So this book is, in the contents of the book, over 60 years old, and I certainly hope you enjoy it. And it should be an excellent reminder to some of the students that may have heard it before. What pet? We want a pet. We want a pet. What kind of pet should we get? Dad said we could have one. Dad said he would pay. I went to the pet store. I went there with Kay, and so we went in. I took one fast look. I saw a fine dog who shook hands. So we shook. So I said, I want him. But then Kay saw a cat. She gave it a pat, and she said, I want that. Then Kay said, now what do you think we should do? Dad said to pick one. We cannot take home two. Then, what do you know? We saw two other kinds. Now, how could Kay and I make up our minds? A pup and a kitten. They look like good fun. Now, which would we pick? We could only pick one. The cat or the dog? The kitten? The pup? Oh boy, it is something to make a mind up. Make up your mind. Then I looked all around. I saw something with wings. I said, look at him. We can pick one that sings. But then, look over there, said my sister Kay. We can go home with a rabbit today. Then I looked at Kay. I said, what will we do? I like all the pets that I see. So do you. We have to pick one pet and pick it out soon. You know Mother told us to be back by noon. And I could have done it. I could have, I bet. I could have said what pet we should get. But you know what Kay did. Do you know what she did? She said, fish, 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 fish. It may be a fish. It's a pet that we wish. Then I saw a new kind, and they were good too. How could I pick one? Now what should we do? We could only pick one. That is what my dad said. But how could I make up that mind in my head? Pick a pet fast. Pick one out soon. Mother and Dad said to be home by noon. Make up your mind. The time may be now to make up my mind, but who knows what other kind of good pets I might find? I might find a new one, a fast kind of thing, who would fly around my head in a ring on a string. Yes, but that would be fun. But our house is so small. This thing on a string would bump into the wall. My mother, I know, would not like that at all. So maybe some other good kind of pet. Another kind maybe is what we should get. We might find a new kind, a pet who is tall, a tall pet who fits in a space that is small. My mother might like this pet best of all. If we had a big tent, then we would be able to take home a yant. Dad would like us to have a good yant, but how do I know he would pay for a tent? So you see how it is when you pick out a pet. How can you make up your mind what to get? But what if we took one of each kind of pet? Then our house would be full of pets we would get. No, Dad would be mad. We can only have one. If we do not choose, we will end up with none. I will do it right now. I will do it, I said. I will make up the mind that is up in my head. The dog or the rabbit, the fish or the cat. I picked one out fast, and that was that. So, boys and girls and parents, that was really an interesting book, and again, it really goes back to the time in which Dr. Seuss wrote that in the maybe late 1950s, early 1960s, where so many people did get pets at pet stores. Now with organizations that go ahead and find rescues, and the various counties have shelters where you can get dogs. There's a lot of different places today that we may go ahead and purchase pets. And certainly along with that, there's a lot of things to do to take care of a pet. And not only the shelter and the food for a pet, but a lot of people like to train pets to be really obedient and do some good things around the house. And also, it's very important to walk them. You don't want them to get overweight, and it's good for you as well if you would walk your particular dog, or make sure the cat gets good exercise, or what have you. So there are a lot of different choices you have, but there's certainly responsibilities with each and every pet that you might want to go ahead and get. So that's something to consider. And on our last page, Dr. Seuss talks about the choices that we do have and the decisions we have to make. What Pet Should I Get is a story about a classic childhood moment, choosing a pet. It is also a story about making decisions. Sometimes it's hard, but you just have to make up your mind. In fact, by ending the story the way he did, Dr. Seuss encourages readers to make up their own mind about how the book ends. So what do you think? What kind of pet did the kids get? Well, I'm not sure. I think that they really liked them all, and that was really something. That Kay really liked the fish, and her brother seemed to like the monkeys, and this is really a very difficult decisions. We make all sorts of decisions in our lifetime, and it's something that if it's really cold out and it may be snowy, should we take our boots to the elementary school? What are we going to decide to eat for lunch today? That certainly is a decision, and many times our parents help us out a great deal on those decisions. The recent graduates of Wadsworth High School and many other high schools around have decisions to make as to if they want to go to college, and if they do, where they would go to continue their education, and how they were going ahead and try to pay for that, because it is very, very expensive to attend college today. And then go ahead and get into the college courses and see if that's really what you really want to be involved in. Also, those students that that went to the Four Cities Educational Compact, maybe some want to be carpenters. By the way, the school system is selling their house on Main Street coming up in early August, I believe, and the students got together. Either they were from Barberton, Norton, Copley, or Wadsworth, and they built that house, and it is going up for auction coming up later next month. So it's something that you might consider. A lot of students like to work on cars. A lot of students maybe want to go in the medical field, nursing, all sorts of areas that are certainly needed in that particular area. Also, Dr. Seuss had a dog as well. He had a Boston Bulldog, and we see that in the picture there. He really was a really avid dog lover. He also did like cats, but he really preferred dogs, and he really used some of those. In fact, his dog was named Rex, and he walked around on 3 legs, and that gave Dr. Seuss some ideas on how to caricature some of the individuals and some of the animals he had in his books. He had a happy birthday poem as well that I'd like to read. In his book, Happy Birthday, Dr. Seuss writes, "A present, aha! Now what kind shall I give? Why, the kind you'll remember as long as you live." So certainly Dr. Seuss gives us a lot to think about. We really need to take care of our pets. And also, I might mention on the back is certainly the checklist of the various choices we have, whether, again, it would be the dog, the cat, the fish, and the bird, all sorts of good possibilities here, which also reminds me that Dr. Seuss certainly was the author, but there is an illustrator involved in all his books, and I know some of you students are very good artists, and it's something that you might consider going into later in your career. Maybe you could be an artist, an illustrator, something in that field as well. Well, boys and girls, I have prepared a second book for you, and it is again, book that's very wealthy with all sorts of good pictures in it, and the illustrator did a fine job. This is a book by Audrey Wood, illustrated by Don Wood, and I believe they are husband and wife. So let's go ahead and see if we can enjoy Quick as a Cricket. I'm as quick as a cricket. I'm as slow as a snail. I'm as small as an ant. I'm as large as a whale. I'm as sad as a basset. And it kind of reminds me of my friend Eeyore here. I really, this is a parent made this tie for me, and Eeyore sometimes is sad, sometimes he doesn't have real good days, but thank goodness he has friends like Tigger and Rabbit and Piglet to help him out. But boy, sometimes that ER does not have the best of days. I'm as happy as a lark. I'm as nice as a bunny. I'm as mean as a shark. I'm as cold as a toad. I'm as hot as a fox. Boy, next couple days are going to be really hot as well, so that fox is going to be hot as well as all his friends. I'm as weak as a kitten. I'm as strong as an ox. I'm as loud as a lion. I'm as quiet as a clam. I'm as tough as a rhino. I'm as gentle as a lamb. I'm as brave as a tiger. I'm as shy as a shrimp. I'm as tame as a poodle. I'm as wild as a chimp. I'm as lazy as a lizard. I'm as busy as a bee. Put them all together, and you've got me. So that is certainly a book which tells us that we have a lot of days that we feel certain things. We might be anticipating relatives coming in, and we may be shy that you don't know your Aunt Mildred is a very different person and wants to get in your face. You might be a little shy with her. You might be, again, helping out on a project around the house, and you want to be strong as that ox and help out. You could be, just want to get out and do some things and wild as a chimp, and you want to maybe be involved in gymnastics or soccer or do something to go ahead and get some energy off. We really have all sorts of different emotions and feelings that we do come across from time to time. Well, I hope you enjoyed the two books that we did this week. Last week, you recall, we did a very good book about Granite. He was the lead dog for Susan Butcher when she won 4 Iditarod races in Alaska. That is the first week of March. And someone asked me during the week, how many dogs are in the sled that pulls the musher? Well, there can be up to 14 dogs in the dog sled at one time. But at the end, because again, dogs get sick or they hurt their paws on their long run, 1,152 miles, there needs to be at least 5 dogs to finish that race. So I hope that cleared that up for the person that asked me that question. 14 dogs on the race. Next week, we're going to, believe it or not, since baseball's right around the corner, next week we're going to do Casey at the bat. Thanks for viewing Bruce on the Loose.